Gentleman that I am, I decided to help her.
I'm prepared to offer you a deal.
She could not resist me. I didn't want to have to do this, but you leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder.
I want to first get one thing off my chest that I was not pleased with the marketing and the changes that were made for Tangled. Originally it was Rapunzel based on the Brothers Grimm tale, and it was a project under development from Disney for over 10 years by animator Glenn Keane, in which it was a CG animated film that would have a hand-drawn look to it. However, because The Princess and the Frog didn't do well at the box office, thank you chipmunks you little bastards, Disney claustrophobically changed the project to try to grasp the modern target audience. Personally, I found it stupid as hell. But since kids of this generation are brainwashed by cheap marketing and little rodents who steal box office spotlight, I don't blame Disney on this behalf. However, with the skepticism out of the way, Tangled was a surprisingly entertaining film. The screenplay carries the same plot of Rapunzel, but with a bit of a twist. Rapunzel is of course locked in a tall hidden tower away from her royal family by a villainous woman, Mother Gothel, who claims to be the actual mother of Rapunzel. She uses her to keep her immortality, as Rapunzel's hair carries special youth powers. The love interest for Rapunzel is a wanted thief named Eugene, disguising his name as Flynn Rider, as he unintentionally runs into her when hiding from the guards. She makes a deal with him that on her 18th birthday she will see a showing of glowing lanterns that are lit up in the sky once a year, unaware it's about her, even though it catches her interest. This of course concerns Mother Gothel, as Rapunzel's appearances can be exposed and having Gothel's immortality taken away. As disappointed as I was from its production, the movie had the right marketing strategy. I saw the trailers thinking it was going to be a comedy of Rapunzel. But believe it or not, it's the other way around. It carries that traditional Disney-esque flavor, but with a unique and different style of storytelling. I liked that. It didn't go off course and force laughs into children by fart jokes or any pop culture references. The humor, speaking of which, has a tremendous amount of slapstick moments thrown back and forth. I will definitely give you that I laughed my ass off during these scenes. I enjoyed so much of the humor that intervened with the characters. Unfortunately, while I was entertained by it, it was so overwhelming that it was distracting from the story. Then there was the musical numbers. As always, Alan Menken handled it fantastically, as it did with other Disney films. There's one song, however, called When Will My Life Begin, which was written like a rock tune. While it is nice to hear, I get this feeling it may not age well, considering it's off from other classical musical set pieces from Disney standards. Character-wise, I loved Maximus. This horse was a guard, but then he sides with the main protagonist. Through many scenes, he's what carried the humor and the choices of what side to choose from. Much like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, Maximus expressively communicates, and it was hysterical. Unfortunately, he was downplayed, and I would have loved to have seen more of his screen time. To be fair, he wasn't important to the story, and it would have been nice if he was. But that's just nitpicking. But you hopefully get my point. Much like Naveen from The Princess and the Frog, Eugene has character depth, which is what I strongly give the movie credit for. He and Rapunzel carried that chemistry, like The Princess and the Frog, which stands out from other Disney films, and gives us how they're awkwardly developed. The style over substance works for the most part, but I don't think it's going to age well with me. I once again don't blame Disney on this behalf. I still love The Princess and the Frog more than Tangled, but that's not to say I didn't like Tangled. In fact, I loved it. But it just wasn't the movie I wanted. I would have loved to have seen the true result of this decade's production of how it would have had the supposed hand-drawn look to it. If it was present the whole time, where was it? No mean to get too critical, but when I think of the hand-drawn look, I think of visually simple black outlines, basic anatomic shapes, and solid color and cast shadowing, which illustrate the lifelike canvas. This movie was just as textured, just as detailed, and just as fluently animated like other CGI. Was it really there? Because I really couldn't see it anywhere. But I won't come off too harsh of the film. Tangled was nevertheless tons of fun and highly recommendable. To the overall rating, 4 stars out of 5.